We're still doing our chapter 20 or chapter 6, depending on the version. So when we use absorption and variable costing, I want to talk about decision-making situations. And some of these, here's some of them we're going to look at right here. Controlling cost. These are on the slides we're going to cover. How do we use this information to control our cost? How do we use this information to price our products? How do we know how to plan production? We're going to analyze contribution margins and analyze market segments. All of this information is needed to do this stuff. And we need to look at both absorption costing and variable costing to do all of these things here. So let's take a look at the very first one, controlling cost. Basically, costs are all controllable in the long run. Somebody has the final decision to say, hey, we're buying this or we're not buying that. Not all costs are controlled at the same level of management, though. For example, a plant supervisor's salary, a plant supervisor has control over the direct materials that might be used in their department, but they have no control over the insurance cost or that's related to the plant and equipment. So they can only control certain things. So we're going to look at costs that are controllable or non-controllable. So controllable costs, just so you understand, are usually controlled by management at that level that they're incurred at. Non-controllable costs are usually higher levels of management that have control over it. So you as a frontline manager or a department manager, your controllable costs are only the ones that you incur in your department. The non-controllable ones are the ones incurred above your department usually. That's a mouthful. So this talks a little bit about variable manufacturing costs, how they're controlled by management. I'm not going to read all this because I want you to read it. And we're going to move on to pricing my products. Okay. Really important factors in understanding how I'm going to determine my selling price. Ultimately, the cost of making the product is the actual pricing decision. I've been in sales for 30 years and I lived on commissions where I made commission based upon the markup percent of the product. So I had to always know exactly what my product costs were. Okay, sorry about that. In short run, fixed costs cannot be avoided. Bottom line, you're going to pay for fixed costs no matter what. Again, I'm not going to read all of this stuff to you. I'll let you take a time to read it, but just to understand how to price products. Okay, and here it talks about short run and long run, and I'll let you take a look at that. A lot of these slides, guys, I'm not going to read. You can stop and read yourself. Planning production talks a little bit about that. Short run, how to plan productions. And there's a lot of things that'll happen in short run because things change all the time. Sometimes you can't get your material. Sometimes there's a delay in delivery. All kinds of things could actually happen. But planning production is limited because of capacity. Long run, it's a whole lot easier. And again, I'm not going to go over all of this. Next, we're going to look at analyzing contribution margins and talking about market segmentations, analyzing market segmentations. So a market segmentation is a portion of a company that can be actually analyzed. I might break my company down into territories, by products, maybe salespeople, maybe customers. But it does say absorption costing is often used for long-term analysis of market segments, while variable is used for short-term. Again, I'm not going to read all this. I don't really do a lot of testing on this material, but it's in here to take a look at. And then here's an example of market segments. Sorry about that. Where I've got different territories. I've got a northern territory. I've got a southern territory. This is a fragrance company that makes a perfume for women and a cologne for men. And here's the information. And so I've got different territories. Obviously, the northern territories tells you how much the commission, how much I'm making. This territory, how much I'm making. So let's take a look a little bit further on this. So we'll have a few more seconds. So here is a contribution margin by sales territory report. So this is taking each territory and breaking it down, telling me which territory is making a better contribution margin ratio. So this is how I might actually use all of this information. This is the end of this video. We'll pick up the information for this company on the next video when we start talking about sales territory performance or profitability.